Yan. So, we will be having a full-length discussion of the things that you should know about physics. So, for that, we'll explain to you first the different learning competencies according to the enhanced TOS given by the PRC. Para at least malaman nyo kung ano yung mga possible questions na lalabas in terms of the subject physics. So here are the competencies. We have only two physics na need natin malaman. So we have the classical and the modern. Sa classical naman, medyo focus siya doon sa thermodynamics, electricity, magnetism, and lastly, ito yung famous si waves and optics. So from that, we have 1.1, demonstrate the relation of heat, work, and temperature to energy, radiation, and physical properties of matter. So itong topic na ito is basically the relationship between the heat, kung anong mangyayari ni work, kung mai-increase ba ang temperature or mag-decrease ba according to the different properties of matter, di ba? Yung solid, liquid, at gas. So basic relationships lang siya lahat. 1.2 naman, we have illustrate the transfer of energy from one place to another and from one form to another. So ito yung mga basics, di ba? Yung mga phase changes from solid to liquid, liquid to solid, gas to solid, so on and so forth. 1.3, uses of electromagnetism for motors, generators, transformers, X-ray, etc., etc. So bale, itong part na to is yung application of electromagnetism doon sa mga things or mga devices na ginagamitan ng electromagnetism. So kung ano lang yung mga functions and applications, kung saan ba magagamit, kung paano ba ginagamit sa electromagnetism dito sa motors, sa generators, so also yung mga yon. 1.4, distinguish the characteristics and functions of waves and optics. So ito yung mga basics, yung mga parts sa waves, yung amplitude, frequency, at sa optics naman, yung pinipinpoint dito is about doon sa mirrors and lenses. So makikita mo sa classical physics, medyo may doubt ako na merong mga problem solving. Kasi puro siya relationships, comparisons, the trends, and etc. and characteristics and functions. So ito yon for the classical physics. Si modern physics naman is you only need to know what is Planck's quantum theory at si Einstein's theory of relativity. Yan lang nung dalawa. Medyo short topic lang talaga si modern physics. At if we distinguish modern physics at si classical, madali lang siya. Later on, we will discuss that. So, ito yung lahat na need nyo malaman ni physics. At sa enhanced new TOS pala, 19 items lang po yung coverage sa 150 items sa majorship ninyo. So, imagine, 19 out of 150 items lang yung si physics. So, generally, hindi mo talaga mafe-feel nga nandyan si physics na sinasagutan mo. Diba? So, at least you will know kung ano yung mga things na dapat i-focus ninyo. So, si physics medyo like parang hindi mo siya mafe-feel talaga. So, probably, there will only be at least 2 problem solving and that will only involve mirrors and lenses. For me. Yan lang yon. Pero we will tackle more about the simple basics lang sa physics. At sa nakikita nyo, di ba, wala na yung mga kinetic energy, yung free fall, kasi focus more on thermodynamics, electricity, magnetism, waves and optics, at saka si modern physics. Yun lang yon. Okay? So I hope nakita nyo na kung anong mga dapat i-focus ninyo ng mga topics for physics. So, let's go ahead. So, classical physics. We will start sa thermodynamics. Okay. Thermodynamics, let's recall all the terms, mga familiar terms na always lumalabas sa mga questions, always tinatackle if ever you will go to advanced physics, di ba? So in thermodynamics, pag thermodynamics, always siya ina-associate kay energy. Lahat talaga kay energy. Siya yung punot dulo dyan. So si energy, by basic definition, siya yung ability to do work, di ba? So siya yung may capability or may the reason why we do work. So energy is anything that possesses energy. So ang unit of measurement dyan, please remember this, is si joule, di ba? At sa energy naman, meron siyang two general types. We have kinetic and we have potential energy. Si kinetic, siya yung energy at work, di ba? May movement. Si potential energy is yung energy at rest. So, just only know the basic formula sa kinetic, sa KE at ni PE. Just in case may problem solving. Kasi sa physics kasi, always siya sa basic problem solving sets. Hindi na yung mga sobrang mga advanced. So you only need to memorize these formulas here. Si KE, kinetic energy, we have 1/2 mv squared. At si potential energy naman is basically mgh. Given na yun si G, di ba? 9.8 meters per second squared. So ito yung mga formula nga need yung malaman. So ever you will come to a point na makakita kayo ng question na ganito, pag KE at CPE, ito yung mga formulas na gagamitin nyo. Okay? So I hope nag-take down notes kayo para at least hindi lahat ng mga formulas ang memorize nyo. Okay? Sige. Let's move. Thermodynamics. From energy, let's go to work. Ito yung always lumalabas pa din concept-wise. So work. Sino si work? Work is basically the transfer of energy doon sa object kapag yung object nagmo-move siya due to what? Due to application of a force. So yan lang yung basic definition dyan. Again, work is the transfer of energy to an object when an object moves due to the application of force. Basically, hindi siya magiging work if and only if there is no force applied on it. And the unit of measurement ni work is, again, si joule. Diba? And yung formula ni work, force times distance. Kaya nga, di ba, application of force plus movement. Yan si work. So here are some examples of work done in physics. So, kailan natin malalaman kung may work ba doon sa scenario or doon sa question? First, it should be that there is a change in position. There should be change doon sa final measurement doon sa distance minus doon sa initial displacement niya. So, if may makakita kayo ng question na merong change in position, may work done yan. At the same time, nag-change yung magnitude, yung speed, at saka direction. May work din yan. Lastly, if and only if mag-change yung shape at yung size, may work din yan. So ito yung three basics to know if there is a work done on that said object. Sige, try natin baliktarin para at least, kasi yung mga questions ni PRC, always siya on a negative side. Para at least ma-analyze mo. Yan yung nakakalito. So ito yon. Babaliktarin natin ito ha. Paano natin malalaman if there is no work done on that same object? Paano? Ito yon. Ito yung mga associations. No work is done if and only if a force is applied on a body, but it does not move. Pag hindi siya nag-move, walang work po doon. Okay? Second, pag ang object is held at a constant height above the ground. Diba? Walang movement din yon kasi hineheld mo lang siya at the same distance, at a constant height. Walang nangyayari. Pag walang mangyayari, walang work din yon. Third, if an object is moved perpendicular to the direction of the force applied. Again, from just see to it, pag makakita kayo ng move perpendicular to the direction, no work is done on that. Alright? So here are the three associations para malaman natin na walang work done on that said object. So ito yung work. Let's try to have this question here. Ito. Mabas din ito. Actual question po ito sa physical science last time. So we have a woman here. She lifts a barbell 2.0 meters in 5.0 seconds. If she lifts it, yung barbell, at the same distance in 10 seconds, the work done by her is what? Sige daw. Anong sagot niyo dito? Sa 8 viewers natin. A woman lifts a barbell 2 meters in 5 seconds. If she lifts it in the same distance in 10 seconds, the work done by her is what? Sige daw. Chat box nga yung sagot. Remember the three associations, ha? If no work is done or meron bang work. Just remember those. Sige, anong sagot nyo dito? So if we try to visualize, kinuha lang niya yung barbell. Di ba? At a constant height. Di bali na yung may 10 seconds. Kahit may time. So constant height pa rin with the formula, di ba? Force time distance. So it should be, the work done here should be the same. So yung sagot dito is letter C. Walang nangyayari kasi nilift lang niya yung barbell. Diba? Sige nga. Try natin ito. Next question. Ito. A baseball pitcher is throwing a fastball which has a speed of 42 meters per second. The mass of the baseball is 0.18 kilograms. How much work has the pitcher done on the ball in throwing it? So, we need to find the work here. And the work here is basically the kinetic energy. Ang galing doon sa pag-throw niya sa bola. So, from the formula, 1 of mv squared, all you need to do is to input everything. So, 1/2 times 0.18 times 42. Then, you will have, the answer is letter A. Diba? Ito lang yung mga sample questions ni Let. Always siya talaga sa basics. Parati siya talagang sa basics. Okay? So, we are done with work. Let's try to move to the next topic. Ito. So, tapos na tayo sa energy. Tapos na tayo sa work. We have power naman. Okay? Power. Power is basically the rate of doing work. Rate, please remember, siya yung rate of doing work. And it has a unit of measurement of watt or joule. And these are the formulas that you need to remember. Okay? Power. Power is equivalent to work over time. Diba? Alam na natin yung work. Work is force times distance. So power is basically force times yung displacement over the time na nangyari doon sa movement from that said object. And power is basically force times velocity. Diba? Kasi rate of doing work, mayroon na siyang kaakibat na magnitude plus direction. Kaya nandyan si velocity. At the same time, kasi work siya, may involve si work, dapat meron ding application of force. Kaya power equals to force times velocity. Okay? Sige. Next one. So energy, to work, to power, then we have temperature. Okay? Temperature. Temperature, by basic definition, ito yung hotness and coldness. Okay? Kung kaano kainit or gaano kalamig yung bagay. So, meaning to say, this temperature here acts like a, what you call this? Yung basis on which the conductivity of the said atomic particles na nandoon sa solid object. Diba? Kasi in temperature, meron tayong tinatawag na microscopic level at macroscopic level. Micro at si macro. Pag microscopic, ito yung way na minimeasure natin yung average translational kinetic energy of the particles within a body. So microscopic level, inside level, ang ginagamitan natin or visualize natin is yung mga atoms na na-excite. Diba? Kasi may effect si temperature doon. May effect siya doon sa molecules or sa atoms, doon sa phase or doon sa state of matter. In macroscopic level naman, it determines whether an object is in thermal equilibrium with others. Okay? Macroscopic level, or shall we say in a broader level. So it basically determines kung ganito na bagay, if ever we measure the temperature, it should be that the way or the instrument that we use is always go to be equal on that temperature doon sa mini-measure mo. Okay? Kaya nagiging thermal equilibrium siya. So, here are the points to remember dito sa temperature po na topic. Points to remember. The higher the conductivity of the said material, the faster the transfer of heat. Again, the higher the conductivity of the material, the faster the transfer of heat. Bakit? Kasi the more that the atoms and molecules na nag-excite, the more siya na magta-transfer ng heat doon. Okay? So, again, ito yon si temperature. So, we have different devices on which we can measure temperature. Ito yon sila. So, liquid in tube thermometer, bimetallic strip thermometer, resistant thermometer, optical pyrometer, at C, constant volume gas thermometer. So here are the different devices on which we can measure temperature. Okay? Baka lalabas din ito, trivia doon sa temperature na topic. Sige. So, we are done with temperature. We will just discuss the basic concepts lang ha. Hindi na yung mga major concepts. Wala na yung mga Qx equal to mc delta T, yung mga exothermic, endothermic. Kasi physics is basically yung mga question nila is straight to the point talaga lahat. Straight to the point. Okay. Next slide. So temperature naman, di ba? Mini-measure natin using different devices. So what are the scales? Okay, di ba? Meron tayong tatlong temperature scales. Tatlo yun. We have Fahrenheit, Celsius, and last we have Kelvin. Okay. So pag ganito, dapat talaga na alam mo yung conversion. Okay? You need to know the conversion. So ito yung mga formula dito. So, to find Fahrenheit, pag Fahrenheit, 9/5 times temperature doon sa Celsius. Then add 32. To find Celsius, baliktad. 5/9 naman, then multiplied to the Fahrenheit minus 32. Si Kelvin is just add 273.15. So, in some questions, in every let, there is always a conversion. meron talaga siya. At least one question, meron talagang isang conversion na lalabas. So it may be Fahrenheit or it may be Celsius. Either yan sa dalawa. So you need at least to memorize isa. Okay? Basta Fahrenheit, si 9 yung nasa numerator. Pag si Celsius, si 5 yung nasa numerator. Okay? So again, please memorize the conversion rates to find Fahrenheit and Celsius. Okay. Thermodynamics. Zeroth Law. So in physics, again, please do memorize the concept of the basic thermodynamic laws. Word by word. Talaga. Memoryado nyo. Dapat yan, word by word. Zeroth Law. Diba? Zeroth Law. Ito yon. If systems A and B are each in thermal equilibrium with system C, then A and B are in thermal equilibrium with each other. So meron tatlong system dito. Si A and B daw, in thermal equilibrium sila with another system, C. So there are three aspects here na nasa Zeroth Law of Thermodynamics. Basta, if makakita kayo ng question na may kasamang with system C, pag tatlo sila na system, automatically Zeroth Law of Thermodynamics yan. I-familiarize nyo yan. Okay? Sige. So from this Zeroth Law, we have what we call heat flow. Diba? In any heat or a specific object, there should be a heat flow on that. Kasi mag-change yung temperature doon, yung pagta-transfer ng energy. Kasi heat flows or yung energy pala daw ay tina-transfer siya from a specific object to another object that is based on its temperature. And kapag may dalawang system na nagka-come in contact, ang nangyayari dito is nagfo-flow siya from hot to cold. Okay? Again, heat flows from hot areas to colder areas. So ito yung nangyayari. So let's try to visualize at least. So just observe, mayroon tayong dalawang baso or may dalawang blocks. Ang isa is hot at isa is cold. Pag i-separate natin siya, wala pang movement doon sa particles, di ba? But if these blocks come in contact, ang mangyayari dyan is magfo-flow agad yung energy. Saan? Again, di ba? Sa hot to cold or from warmer regions to cooler regions. Hanggang kailan? Hanggang magiging equal yung temperature ng both blocks. Okay? Yan yung objective niya. Just to equalize the temperatures between the two objects. Okay? I hope you have understood that one. So yan si Zeroth Law of Thermodynamics. Okay, let's proceed. Sa heat pala, meron siyang capability or meron siyang ability for it to make different objects or certain objects to expand. Diba? So we have this what we call thermal expansion. From the word thermal, meaning temperature, heat, diba? At the same time, expansion. Because of heat, nag-expand yung object. So thermal expansion, by basic definition, it is just the increase or decrease of an object sa kanyang dimensions due to what? Due to temperature change. Kaya mayroon ditong delta T. Diba? The change in temperature. So, in general, most sa mga materials natin, nag-i-expand siya kapag naiinitan. At nagko-contract siya kapag nagiginawan. Take for example, yung road systems natin, di ba? If you can see a road construction o nagko-construct ng road, meron talaga siyang allowance in between. Bakit? Kasi nag-expand yung yung cement or yung material doon. Kaya siya may allowance para hindi siya madaling mabiyak. Yan yung reason dyan. Because of thermal expansion. Sa thermal expansion, meron din tayong tinatawag na volume expansion. So, same pa rin sa thermal expansion, nag-extend or na-expand siya at a certain volume. Because of temperature pa rin. Because of heat. Because of the energy na nag-transfer doon from that object to the next object. So, here are the points to remember. Most materials expand when heated and contract when cooled. Sure ako, baka ito yung word by word question doon. Most materials expand when heated and it contracts when cooled. So here are the different materials na usually ginagamit ni PRC. Okay? So we have aluminum, brass, copper, glass, quartz. But commonly used dito is si glass, si brass, at si copper. Ito yon, 2, 1.7, 2 at 1.7. But don't worry kasi given naman si coefficient of linear expansion dito. Para dito sa ganitong formula. Given na po siya. You don't need to memorize this one. Okay? Sige, let's move. Let's have thermal energy. Thermal energy is the sum of the kinetic and potential energies sa lahat ng particles na nag-make up doon sa object or doon sa body. So with that, we can say that yung internal energy, yung tinatawag nating U, itong U ha, internal energy yan. Siya yung grand total energy sa lahat ng isang body. Diba? At yung thermal energy is basically yung sum sa lahat. At ito yung concepts niya na associated dito sa thermal energy. Different masses with the same temperature. So therefore, yung internal energy ni A, so the higher the mass, the higher the internal energy of that object. Okay, please remember, the higher the mass, the higher the internal energy. Say for example, if different yung temperature, pero same yung mass. Ano yung internal energy? Same pa din. So the higher the temperature, the higher the internal energy of that object. So ito lang yung need mong yung i-familiar, i-visualize. Kapag marami, siya yung mataas. Pag sa thermal energy. Again, kapag siya ang marami, siya yung mataas na internal energy. Mapa-mass ba yan at mapa-temperature. Okay? Sige. So, thermal energy, let's go through to heat. So, ito yung mga different unit of measurements ni heat. So, ito yung mga energy units. So, we have we have calorie, we have BTU, and we have joule. In some cases, doon sa mga past physical science exams, si PRC always siya nagtitrip. Kasi, ang ginagawa niya is you need to convert the kcal from the question, i-convert mo doon sa joule. So, you need to memorize the conversion rate dito. Anong conversion rate dito? 1 calorie, equivalent siya doon sa 4.186 joule. Ito lang, you need to memorize this one. 1 calorie is equal to 4.186 joule. Okay? At si joule, ito yung unit of measurement, si James Prescott Joule yung nag-invent niyan. At meron tayo tinatawag na mechanical equivalent of heat. Kasi, ang nangyari doon, si James Prescott pala, siya yung nag-experiment doon sa gusto niyang malaman kung magkano or ilang increase ng temperature of a certain object to do work. And he found out that 4.186 joule of mechanical work dapat na ma-attain in order to raise the temperature of that said object from 14.5 degrees Celsius to 15.5 degrees Celsius. So, needless to say, ang nangyari dito is, it needs at least 4.186 joules para ma-increase yung temperature doon kapag may work done on that object. So again, note that 4.186 joule of mechanical work raises the temperature of 1 gram of water from 14.5 to 15.5. Yan yung nangyari doon. Okay? At because of that, pagkatapos doon, ang nangyari is birth of calorimetry. Ito na yung Q is equal to MC delta T. Okay? So, siya yung anak doon sa nangyari ni James Prescott. So, let's memorize this. Simple lang naman. Q is equivalent to MC delta T. Delta T change in temperature. K or degrees Celsius. So, it needs to have yung C, dapat malaman mo yung specific heat capacity. Pero, usually, given na yun si specific heat capacity. You don't need to memorize this one. Okay? So, from calorimetry, tapos na tayo sa work, ang differentiation, yung mga trends, relationship, proceed tayo sa heat transfer. Alam ko na alam nyo na to. So, heat transfer. Yung tatlo, we have conduction, we have convection, and we have radiation. From the three, conduction lang yung may contact. Convection, due to mass motion. At si radiation naman, due to electromagnetic waves. And please remember, si conduction, di ba? Bodies that come in contact. And remember that sa periodic table, the only good conductor there are metals. Okay? Good conductor si metals kapag nagko-conduct siya. Diba? Pag nag-undergo siya ng conduction. Bakit, sir? Kasi metals, meron siyang free electrons doon. So, anong purpose ni free electrons? Siya yung nag-carry ng energy from hotter areas to cooler regions of that certain metal. Kaya if there is conduction, diba? Ito. If there is conduction, always siya from hot to cooler regions. Kasi good conductor sa metal. Agad-agad siya nagtatransfer ng heat coming from the hand mismo. Okay? So again, metals are good conductors and a good conductor is a poor insulator. Baliktarin natin. A poor conductor is a good insulator. Kapag nagko-conduct yung material, meaning to say, yung pag-insulate niya is lesser. Pag poor yung conductivity, ang nangyayari is, pwede siya maging isang good na insulator. Okay? Yan yun sa conduction. How about convection, sir? So, si convection, again, it is the transfer of heat by mass motion. By mass motion, di ba? Kung sa geology pa lang yan, sa mantle, meron tayong mga tinatawag na convection cells. Okay? So, eto, ang nangyayari is, meron siyang flow. Okay? Meron siyang flow. Yung flow na dito is caused by differences of density. Kasi we are talking about fluids dito. Okay? Density, yung differences in density due to thermal expansion. Okay? Kaya meron tayong tinatawag na natural convection or free convection. Sa air, di ba? Fluid yung air. From one space to another. Ganyan si convection. Si radiation naman is transferred by electromagnetic waves. So later on, we will discuss more on the electromagnetic spectrum. Kasi dapat nyo talagang malaman kung ano yung mga things na nandoon sa EM spectrum. Okay? Sige. Heat transfer, let's move to a very unfamiliar term. We have emissivity. Okay, emissivity is just a dimensionless number, okay, between 0 and 1. So, it talks more about the rate of radiation, di ba? Yung mga body radiation na nagra-radiate doon sa surface sa object. Okay? Yan yun si emissivity. And kapag ideal radiator daw, yung emissivity level niya is equivalent to 1. Again ha, pag may question kayong makikita na that talks about ideal radiator, yung emissivity yan is equivalent to 1. Kapag ideal reflector, yung emissivity niya is equivalent to 0. Just remember this. Pag radiator, 1, reflector, 0. Okay? At yung formula ni emissivity is just rate of radiation for a particular material all over the rate of radiation for an ideal radiator. Okay? Concept lang tayo dito kasi baka lalabas. Sige. From emissivity, let's move to thermal properties of matter. So we have the different state variables. So what are state variables, sir? Which are the ones na nagde-describe ng kung anumang condition doon at the certain environment or at a certain system. So anong mga aspect dito, sir? Ito yon. We have pressure, we have volume, and we have temperature. Diba? The famous PVT. Ang PVT, ang always natin na ma-observe or ma-remember is yung mga gas laws. Okay? Again, familiarize the gas laws. Importante po ito. So gas laws, ano ito? Sino sila? We have Boyles, we have Charles, we have Gay-Lussac's. Si Boyles, constant yung temperature. Okay? Kaya P1, V1. Si Charles naman, constant yung pressure. V1 over T1. Si Gay-Lussac's naman, constant yung volume. Kaya P1 over T1. Again, si Boyles, temperature. Si Charles, pressure. Gay-Lussac's, volume. So, how do we memorize this one, sir? Baka makalimutan ko. Ito lang. Just focus more on the ideal gas equation. CPV equals to nRT. Kasi from that specific formula, you can actually manipulate. Dito yung pag-manipulation ninyo. To find Boyle's law, use the ideal gas law. Simple as that. Diba? Kasi constant. Pwede mo yung i-constant si P. Pwede mo yung i-constant si R. Si T at si V. So you will always end up dito sa three formulas here sa taas. Okay? Sige. Points to remember. Gas molecules travel fast at a straight path. Okay? Gas molecules daw, nagta-travel siya ng mabilis at sa straight na path. Volumes doon sa mga molecules are negligible. Kinetic energy of the molecules is directly proportional to temperature. Of course naman, the more that i-increase natin yung temperature, the more na mag-excite si molecules. Fourth, collisions of molecules are perfectly elastic. Okay? Collisions of molecules are perfectly elastic. And lastly, intermolecular forces, yung mga IMFs are still negligible. Okay? So, ito yon. So, from the three states of matter, di ba? Meron tayong tinatawag na phase diagram. A phase diagram, just remember these points. Okay? Just remember these points. Si solid, si liquid, at si gas. The only way that it can exist sa tatlo is si triple point. Okay? Triple point, siya lang yung area on which nag-exist yung solid, liquid, at gas. Kasi nag-meet silang tatlo. Solid to gas, sublimation curve. Solid at saka solid versus liquid, fusion curve. Liquid versus gas, vaporization curve. Okay? Sa phase diagram, yun lang yung may memorize nyo. Especially, dapat alam mo si triple point. At yung triple point ng water natin is 0.01 degrees Celsius. At standard pressure of 6.03 times 10 to the negative 3 atm. Diba? So, phase diagram. Okay, balik ulit tayo kung basic thermodynamics. Thermodynamics is just the study of the relationships involving yung diniscuss natin kanina. Diba? Lahat na yon talks about thermodynamics. And with that, meron tayong mga sign convention. If we desire to compare or to have or to know the concept between or how work and heat works with one another. Okay? So ito yon. Ito yung mga sign conventions. Work is positive if and only if it is done by the system. Again ha, positive lang po siya kapag done by the system. Negative si work if and only if the work is done on the system. Again, work is negative kapag yung work done on the system. Si heat naman, si heat is positive kapag absorbed by the system. Positive lang po siya kapag yung heat is absorbed by the system. Negative naman kapag nire-release si heat. Again, negative naman kapag inirelease natin si heat. So, for some questions, always po na merong ganitong trends and relationships na lalabas. So, dapat alam mo kung anong mangyayari kapag si work ay positive or negative at kapag si heat ay positive or negative. Please remember that one. Remember this sign convention. Ito yung mga basic concepts dyan. And with that, dahil kang sign convention, para tayong mga different thermodynamic processes. Ito, isobaric, isovolumetric, isothermic, and adiabatic. Isobaric, di ba? Isobar. Isobar, barometer. Pag barometer, pressure. Pag pressure, constant kapag isobaric. Isovolumetric, volume yung constant. Isothermic, temperature yung constant. At famously known po na meron talagang adiabatic na word na mababasa nyo sa pagtitake ng let. Again ha, kapag adiabatic, walang constant dyan. Okay? Pag adiabatic, walang constant. Ito lang yung need nyong memorize. Usually, ang mga questions is all about isobaric and adiabatic, guys. Si isobaric talaga at si adiabatic yung famous na always lumalabas po. Okay? You don't need to memorize the formulas, guys. Just know what is isobaric in difference with adiabatic, isothermic, and isovolumetric. Yun lang yun. Okay? So with that, tapos naman tayo doon sa Zeroth Law. Let's try to distinguish first law and second law. At least alam natin. Okay. First law. Increase the internal energy of the system if it remains in the system. First law, does external work if it leaves the system. So, formula dito, Q is equivalent to delta U plus work. Basically, dito sa first law, merong na-add na heat. Okay? Heat is added on the or in the system. Meaning to say, kapag nag-a-add na tayo ng heat, nag-i-increase yung internal energy plus yung work done by the system. Ito yon si first law of thermodynamics. Okay? How about second law, sir? Sino si second law? Second law naman, siya yung naglilimit pala kay first law. Okay? Siya yung naglilimit. Kasi kapag hindi natin nililimit si first law, ang mangyayari dito is para tayong nasa void. Chaotic talaga. Diba? So second law, we have the Kevin Planck statement. O diba? Kung proceed tayo doon sa sa modern physics. Meron din tayong Clausius statement at meron din tayong entropy statement. Ano po ito, sir? So, Kevin Planck statement, ito yung form na nagsistate ng second law of thermodynamics kapag it's all about heat engine. So sa Kevin Planck statement, no heat engine can convert heat completely into work. In other words, walang makina na nagko-convert ng heat na kumpleto talaga na 100% efficient. Okay? Our engines are always below 92% efficiency. Wala talagang device or a machine na 100% efficient. Hindi yan pwede. Hindi yan possible. Okay? Yan si Kevin Planck. Si Clausius naman, heat flows naturally from hot to cold. Diba? Yung diniscuss ko kanina, Clausius statement yon. Entropy statement. Natural processes proceed towards the direction of increasing disorder or entropy. So lahat ng mga natural processes na nag-i-involve doon sa system, napupunta doon sa direction sa entropy. Yung increasing disorder. Okay? At since nag-discuss tayo about heat engine, ito yung mga heat engine natin. Okay? Heat engine, again, siya yung device na nag-convert ng heat partially into work, hindi completely. Again ha, heat engine, partially lang siya, hindi siya completely kasi hindi siya possible. Si heat engine absorbs heat so that it can convert some into mechanical work. At meron tayong tinatawag na thermal efficiency. At ito yung formula dyan. Okay? Output over input. Simple as that. Yung output doon sa machine over sa intended input sa engine or sa machine. Okay? So, heat engine. Meron tayong apat. Okay? 4-stroke internal combustion engine. Ito 'yon. Ito yung nandoon sa 4-stroke machines. We have intake stroke, we have compression stroke, we have power stroke, and exhaust stroke. From what I've gathered, ang nakita ko lang na merong question about stroke is si power at si intake. Okay? Kapag intake, guys, it talks more about the piston, the movement of the piston. Again ha, pag may nababasa kayo na about intake, it talks more about the movement of the piston. Kapag power stroke, siya yung nagpupush doon sa piston, going para magiging work siya. Okay? Again, intake, movement of the piston. Power stroke, siya yung nagpupush ng piston to move it or in order for it to move. Okay? So, let's have this question here. Makalalabas. A heat engine operates with 65 kcal and exhausts 40 kcal of heat. How much work did the engine do? Medyo confusing, di ba? Pero, it just involves heat. And it just involves the change in heat of the desired heat engine. So all you need to do is just subtract. Diba?
25.
Parang nakakalito pero subtraction lang pala. So ang sagot dito is 25 kcal. From kcal, convert to kilojoule, di ba? 4.186. So, conversion, ito yung sagot. So, the answer here is letter D, 105 kilojoules. Okay? So, ito lang yung mga usually lumalabas if and only if there is a problem solving. Okay, terms to remember. Practice malaman nyo. Meron kayong mga inputs. Okay, terms to remember. Pag gasoline engine, guys, ang cycle niyan is si Otto. Okay? Ang cycle niyan is si Otto. Kapag gasoline, Otto cycle. Kapag diesel engine, diesel cycle. Remember, ha? Last, kapag refrigerator, we are talking more about the Carnot cycle. So, ito yung mga engines at mga kaakibat nila na mga model of thermodynamic processes. So, ito yung mga processes na nag-i-involve sa tatlong engine na ito. Si gasoline, we have Otto cycle. Si diesel, we have the diesel cycle. At refrigerator naman, we have si Carnot cycle. Okay? So, kapag makakita kayo ng question na about gasoline, kung anong cycle, Otto po yung sagot. Diesel cycle po yun. Pag refrigerator, Carnot cycle. Alright? Sige. Let's move. So, we are done with, tapos na tayo sa thermodynamics. Let's move to electromagnetism. So, we have the term here, electrostatics. Electrostatics, it's just the study of electric charges. Okay? Study of electric charges. At sino yung mga charges, sir? Yung mga charges is siya, yung si Q. Okay? Si Q. So, si Q pala daw, siya yung nag-explain ng mga phenomena na nandyan, innate sa mga bodies na nagkukupos ng atoms at saka molecules sa yung mga charges, di ba? So with that, we have to know na merong mga akibat na magnitude, polarity, si charge. What do we mean by magnitude, sir? Si magnitude ay yung strength ng charge. Again, pag magnitude, siya yung strength ng charge. Pag polarity naman, it is basically yung interaction niya within that certain body. So how these charges interact to that same field. Okay? So ito yung definition. Let's move. From electrostatics, let's go to electrostatic force. But sino yung si electrostatic force? Siya yung degree of repulsion or attraction. Okay? Pag degree of repulsion of attraction, si Charles Coulomb yun. Di ba yung Coulomb's law? I hope na naka-remember kayo doon. So pag Coulomb's law, we are talking more about the electric current. Okay? Electric current. Yung kuryente. Okay? Si electric current, just the rate of flow of charges in a certain medium. So kung ano ang makikita mo na nagmo-move doon or nag-free flowing, siya yung si electric current. At sa electric current naman, yung dalawa. We have conventional and we have the electron current. Sino si conventional? Conventional is yung flow ng mga positive charges. Again, yung mga flow ng mga positive charges. From what points? From a point of higher to lower or from positive to negative potential. Kaya yung mga basic, kaya nga conventional. Si electron current naman is the flow of electrons from a point of lower, baliktad, di ba? Baliktad sa conventional. From a point of lower to a point of higher or negative to positive. Okay? So conventional, positive to negative, electron, negative to positive. Alam nyo na to. Okay, next. So, we've discussed doon sa electric potential. So electric potential, siya yung potential energy per unit charge of a particle in certain electric field. At kapag electric potential yung yung i-visualize natin, we are talking more about the Kirchhoff's law. Again ha, kapag electric potential, Kirchhoff's law po iyan. So, sino si Kirchhoff's law? Kirchhoff's law is just a way, or just the law, describes the current in a node or a voltage around a loop. So, ano-ano ang mga to? Ito yung mga current law at si voltage law. Remember circuits and remember the circuits, parallel and ni series. Ito yon. Current law, sum of current entering and leaving a node in a circuit. That should be equal to 0. Kapag voltage law, siya yung sum of the voltages around a loop. And again, it should be equal to 0. Lahat ng circuit, lahat ng current law, at lahat ng mga voltage law, dapat 0 po yung equivalent niya doon sa voltage at current relationship. Okay? Sige, move. So, Coulomb's law, ito yung formula dyan. Coulomb's law, V equals to IR. Power, P is equivalent to I and V. Lenz's law, and last we have, Lenz's law yung last. Ito yung mga usual na lumalabas po na formulas sa physical science na physics na portion. Okay? So, familiarize again. So, ilang formulas na ang ninyong i-memorize? So, I think mga 4 yung kanina plus 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay? Memorize agad. Kuha kayo ng papel, ilagay nyo sa dingding nyo para ma-memorize nyo. Okay? Sige. So, from that, we will talk more or we'll be discussing about series and parallel circuits. Okay. So, how do we differentiate series and parallel? Series is basically one loop. Diba? Isa lang. Isang circle, bale. Si parallel, many loops. Madami siya. Kapag parallel, ang loops niya is all about the resistors, resistance. Kaya siya maraming R, R1, R2, at si R3. Pag series, one loop of resistances. Okay? So, pag series, kapag voltage, V1 plus V2 plus V3. Kapag parallel, since madami siyang loops, equal lang po lahat yung voltages niya. Kaya nga, if ever you have a slide na parallel circuit, ang nangyayari dyan is that yung isang bulb, pag nagbabusted or busted po siya, yung other bulb is working pa din. Unlike the series na kapag ang isa ay mababusted, lahat po ay hindi na mag-work. Okay? So, yan yung concept dyan. So, current, equal po lahat kapag kay series. Resistance naman, R1 plus R2, R3 kay series. Si parallel naman is just the reciprocal niya. So, ito yon, series versus parallel. Alright? Sige. So, paano natin mini-measure yung mga voltage, amperes, yung current or electricity doon sa mga wires natin? So, ginagamitan natin siya ng mga devices na ito. Okay? We have what we call ammeter at saka voltmeter. So, si ammeter, it measures the current. Again, ha? Pag ammeter measures current.
Okay.
Kapag voltmeter, it measures the electric potential. Again, ha? Kasi baka pag voltmeter, yung mini-measure is voltage. Electric potential po yung mini-measure dyan. Okay? wala pong lumalabas na actuations doon na voltage. Electric potential po yun. Baka ma-interchange po ninyo. Sige. Let's try to have this question here.
What is true of all combinations?
Mga nanonood pa, anong sagot dito? Okay, chat box nga. Anong sagot niyo dito? What is true of all the combinations arranged in parallel? Okay? Resistances. Kapag resistances, equal po yung lahat ng mga R1, R2.
Parehas. Letter A.
Okay, so we have, let's try to have this. Okay, let's have one. Yung current ba niya ni parallel is nag-split down each leg of the combination? Yes, nag-split po siya. Okay, so 1 is correct. How about 2? Voltage is constant across each leg of combination, di ba? Parallel nga. So meaning to say, equal po yun. So 1, correct. 2 is correct. How about yung 3, yung resistance? Resistance is the same for each leg of the combination. Yes, di ba? So ito yun. Visualize natin ha, para at least maklaro. So series, I should be the same. Yung voltage is divided kapag R increases. Pag parallel naman, yung current divided, yung voltage is the same, and R is decreasing. So the answer here should be 1 and 2. Letter B po. Okay? Letter B. Okay. Let's try to have another question. Ito. So, if 3 identical lamps are connected in parallel to a 6-volt dry cell, what is the voltage drop across each lamp? Diba? Series versus parallel. Visualization. Ito, parallel naman yung what is asked dito. Nagda-drop ba yung voltage? Diba? Sa parallel, hindi. It is always the same. So the answer here is letter C, 6 volts. Same lang po. Okay? Sige. Dapat talaga ma-familiarize nyo yung lahat ng mga concepts, especially kay series at parallel. Always po yan lumalabas. Trust me, guys. Sige. So, from that, let's move to magnetism. Okay? Magnetism, I've just selected topics na general nga lumalabas po sa LED. So, ito yon sa mga nakita ko or sa mga na-observe ko. Based sa enhanced to US pa rin ito, ha? We have, in magnetism, yung ferromagnetic, we have diamagnetic, we have paramagnetic. Ferromagnetic, from the word ferro, di ba? Iron. Kapag iron, it has strong magnetic properties. Okay? Ferromagnetic, malakas. Diamagnetic, mahina. Pag paramagnetic, pinakamahina. Okay? Again, ferromagnetic, pinakamalakas. Diamagnetic, intermediate. Paramagnetic, pinakamahina. Kasi baka lalabas sa question doon, which of the following has the weakest magnetic properties? Pag weakest, paramagnetic. Pag yung question is strong magnetic property, ferromagnetic na yung sagot. And with that, kapag nagto-talk tayo about magnetism, always siya nag-i-involve ng magnetic field. Okay? Always siya nag-i-involve ng magnetic field. Okay? Sige. So, magnetism, ito. Magnetic field. Diba kapag magnetic field, ang always natin na malalaman or ma-visualize is yung tinatawag natin na hand's eye rule. Ano yan? Right hand rule. Diba? Kung dapat ano yung magnitude at pointing at what direction. Okay? So at least, kasi merong isang question sa LET that talks about the right hand rule. Kung ano yung positioning. So you need to know how to get the magnitude by using that right hand. So magnetic field is the region. Ito yung magnetic field ha. Ito yung region of space around a moving charge. Okay? Bakit nagkakaroon tayo ng magnetic field? Kasi may dalawang magnets po tayo dito. May dalawang magnets po tayo dito. Okay? So with that, by using the right hand rule, ma-determine natin yung direction sa magnetic force. Saan? Or paano? Doon sa force na nag-a-act doon sa object within that certain magnetic field. Within that certain magnetic field. Okay, let's jump. Okay? So, notes to remember. A changing magnetic field creates an electric field, while as a changing electric field creates a magnetic field. Anong concept ito? Ito yung concept of electromagnetic induction. Okay? Ito yung concept of electromagnetic induction. So ano itong electromagnetic induction, sir? Ano kaya ito? Ito yun si process by which a changing magnetic field produces electric current. Nang dahil sa may nag-change doon or nagka-create tayo ng electric field, nagka-create tayo ng magnetic field, it produces electric currents. At itong si current na ito na nag-generate is produced saan? Doon sa coil, doon sa wire. Kasi ini-induce natin siya within that certain magnetic field. And nang dahil meron tayong source, okay? Meron tayong source of electromotive force or yung tinatawag natin na EMF, siya yung nagpo-produce or siya yung needed para magka-create or maka-generate tayo ng current doon sa coil of wire. Okay? So, ang tawag dito is what we call the induced EMF. Basta, ang idea lang po dito is si electromagnetic induction, siya yung nag-generate ng electric current via coils of wire due to the changing magnetic field. Yan lang yung concept dito sa electromagnetic induction. So, from that, let's move to electromagnetic waves. Ito, you need to memorize this. So, yung spectrum. Okay? Si gamma ray, shortest wavelength. Radio waves are the longest wavelength. And please remember, kapag shorter wavelengths, yung frequency niya is higher. Again, pag shorter wavelengths, frequency is higher. So si gamma ray, high frequency po iyan. Kaya natin, yung etong extra, kaya natin nakikita yung mga bones natin because of that high frequency. So again, shorter wavelengths have higher frequency. The longer wavelengths, the lower frequency. Okay? Yun lang yung trend doon. Sige. So, we are done with the concept of electromagnetic induction, electromagnetic wave. Doon naman tayo sa application. So, how can electrostatic or basically electricity can be applied So ano yung mga application niya, 'di ba? Meron tayong mga devices. We have battery, kasi battery, device that converts chemical to electricity. Again, battery, chemical to electricity. Anong meron sa composition niya, sir? Consists of electric cells. Pag battery, electric cells. At kapag battery, si DC po yung nagfo-flow. Again, pag battery, DC will flow. And meron tayong different types of battery. We have primary and we have secondary. The only batteries na secondary are those na rechargeable. Again, kapag rechargeable yung battery, it is considered secondary battery. Okay? Sige. From battery, move tayo dito. Sige nga, anong tawag dito? Dapat alam nyo ito ha, electronics. Electronic 101. Anong tawag dito? Chatbox nga. Inom muna ako ng tubig. Chatbox, anong tawag dito? Nyo alam? Okay, thank you, Sir Jade. Thank you, Ma'am Kat. Ito yung resistor, guys. But do not dwell on how to name. Kasi meron itong colored, di ba? Meron siyang, ang tawag doon, parang code. Meron siyang code, pero do not memorize that one. Para lang yung sa mga TLE majors. Okay? So, this is what we call the resistor. Si resistor pala daw, tayo naglilimit ng flow of electric current. Tayo naglalagay ng threshold limit. Kasi, if we don't limit the electric current, ang mangyayari dyan is mag-overload yung device. Okay? Si resistor yung parang kanang kamay dyan. And the word resistor, di ba? Resist. Okay? Tama. Memoryado pa ni Sir Jade, oh? Yung mnemonics dyan. Kung paano yung pagkocode dyan sa resistor. Sige, balik tayo. Resistor, again, it reduces or controls the potential difference or voltage in some parts of the circuit. And meron tayong tinatawag na dalawang types of resistor. Meron tayong fixed at meron tayong variable. Kapag fixed, yung value niyan is hindi nag-change. Eksakto punto. Ito, fixed resistor po ito. Pag variable resistor, yan yung mga pwedeng i-change at a certain condition. Sige nga. What device do you call this one? Pag alam nyo to, ano ito? Very good. Chassis capacitor. Kapag capacitor, di ba? From the word capacitor, capacitance. It consists of two conductive surfaces. Okay? Dalawa po. And ang purpose nito is nagsustor lang po siya ng electrical energy. Kaya tayo may tinatawag na capacitance. And kapag capacitance, farad po yung unit dyan. Stored energy, farad capacitance. Again, stored energy, farad capacitance. Okay. So, resistor, capacitor, battery. Ano naman ito? Sige nga. Anong kulang? Coils of wire na wino-wind up natin. Ito yung tinatawag natin na very good, Ma'am Kat. Alam na alam. Inductor. Diba? Kapag capacitor, capacitance. Kapag inductor, inductance. Inductors are the ones that are storing electrical energy. Stores electrical energy. Inductance. Kapag inductance, nagme-measure siya ng capacity of an inductor to cause induction. Okay? The capacity measurement to cause induction. How about this one? Ito, sino ito? Yan. Okay. Transformer, hindi si Optimus Prime ha? Transformer yan. So yung kapitbahay nyo sa poste nyo sa labas. So transformer. Ay yung device na nag-increase or nag-change ng AC voltage. Again ha, kapag transformer, change na yung AC voltage. By what? By the use of induction. Okay? By the use of induction. Transformer. Nagkukonsist siya ng core. Siyempre, iron. And meron siyang tinatawag na primary and secondary coil. Diba? Pag primary coil, saan siya connected? Connected po siya sa AC generator. Again, kapag primary coil is connected po siya sa AC generator. And also, yung primary coil niya is tinatawag natin input voltage. Secondary coil naman is output voltage. Bakit may input at output, sir? Diba? May purpose kasi si primary coil at si secondary coil. Because the moment that you change the number of coils around that coil, it will affect the output of that transformer. Kasi meron tayong tinatawag na step-up transformer at a step-down transformer. Sino si step-up, sir? From the word step-up, di ba? Increase, di ba? So, ini-increase po ni step-up transformer yung output voltage. At kapag ini-increase natin yung voltage, kabaliktaran naman doon sa output current. Okay, again, step-up transformer, it steps up the voltage, but it steps down the output current. While as step-down transformer, it decreases the output voltage, but it steps up the output current. So, meron siyang formula, guys. Ito yun. Ito yung transformer equation. Sige nga, I hope na-gets no yung gist doon kung sino si step up at si step down. Kasi, always kayo makakita ng ganitong question sa physics. Especially with this type of topic. A step-up transformer. Sige nga, anong sagot dito? Kaka-discuss ko lang ha? Sige, chat box nga. At least meron tayong 10 viewers. Hindi ako solo. Okay, step-up transformer. Anong sagot? Step up ha? Step up. Again ha? Balik, let's recall. Kapag step up, nag-i-increase siya ng voltage. Kapag i-increase natin ng voltage, ang needed natin is dapat mas maraming wire. Again, step-up transformer, nag-step up ng voltage, thus we need more wires. So therefore, si step-up transformer pala ay may, if we compare the primary versus secondary, mas lesser windings doon sa primary coil compared to that of the secondary coil. Kaya nga nag-step up siya. Dumadami yung daloy. Kaya ang sagot mo dito is letter A. Fewer windings on the primary coil. Sa step up nga from primary to secondary. O yan lang yun. Okay. Next. Other devices. We have fuses and circuit breakers. So ito lang yung mga safety devices. Kapag makakita kayo ng safety device na question, fuse at circuit breakers po yan agad-agad. Alright? Okay. Another device. We have what we call semiconductors. Semiconductors are just materials on which behaves like a conductor at saka insulator. Saan natin to ginagamit, sir? Sa mga bridge gate doon sa mga motherboards, yung mga circuits, dyan yun nilalagay. Yung mga closed loop, open loop, yung mga closed gate, and OR gate, ito yun. Diba? So, semiconductors increases its conductivity with temperature. Okay, again, kapag semiconductor, it increases its conductivity with temperature. So, sa lahat ng mga devices na yon, pwede natin siyang gawan ng application. Okay? Application of what? Application of this one. So, ito yung travel from a certain energy source patungo doon sa mga subdivisions or sa bahay natin. So, saan galing? So, first, from hydropower plant, di ba? Dapat galing talaga sa planta. Then, what happens to that is that it will undergo doon sa mga turbines. Kasi sa turbine, anong kino-convert niya? Di ba? Turbine, siya yung mga propellers. Propellers, from propellers, mechanical. Mechanical to electrical. Turbine ha, pag turbine, mechanical to electrical. Then, after turbine, it will go to step-up transformer. So again, step-up transformer increases the voltage. Ito yung mga substations. Di ba? Substations. After substation, pupunta doon sa step-down transformer. Yan yung mga transformer na makikita nyo sa labas, sa bahay ninyo. Kasi, nilalagay niya na it will step down the voltage para magamit nyo sa bahay po ninyo. Okay? So, notes to remember. Kapag high voltage, low current. Kapag low current, lower resistance. Kapag lower resistance, lesser dissipation of energy. Again, high voltage, low current, low resistance, and lesser dissipation. Okay? So, from generator applications, pwede din siya magiging motor application. Ito yung tinatawag natin DC motors. So, ano ito? Ito yung device na nag-convert ng electrical energy to mechanical energy. Okay? So, bali, yung process niya is, basically, baliktad lang siya sa generator. Okay? Baliktad lang po siya sa generator. O, dynamo, yun. Ang tawag doon sa laruan na yun? Yung mga 90s people dito? Ano tawag doon? Yung parang car? Chinese yun. Tamiya. Oo, Tamiya. Yan yung sikat last time. Marami ako doon. Puro dynamo lahat na nasa kaban ko. Okay, ito yon. Dynamo. Dynamo motors. DC motors. Okay. Let's move. So, another application. Sa mga metal detectors. Diba? The moment that these metal detectors detect objects is because of electromagnetic induction. Yan yung way and means niya. Okay? Yan yung ways and means. Not only sa metal detectors, but also yung mga ginagamit natin sa mga medicinal equipment. Yung mga, anong tawag doon sa ginagamit ng mga obigaini? Anong tawag doon? Kilimutan ko. Anong tawag doon? Sonar ba? Ay, hindi. Anong tawag doon? Girls. Hindi ko alam. Kalimutan ko. Yung imaging device, MRI? Hindi yun MRI. Ultrasound. Sorry. Okay, ultrasound pala. So, yung ultrasound, ginagamitan siya ng electromagnetic induction. Okay? Basta any medicinal equipment nag-create o nag-generate ng images. It uses concept of electromagnetic induction. Okay. Yan lang yung applications na nasa enhanced TOS po ninyo. So move on na tayo sa waves and optics. Waves and optics, we are talking more about light. And what do we say about light is yung spectrum again. Diba? Paulit-ulit, always spectrum, energy, wavelength. Gasgas na ito. Okay? Basta light, guys, pag light, nag-i-exhibit po siya ng wave-particle duality. Okay? Kapag wave-particle duality, please associate that with photons. Again, light, wave-particle duality, photons. Kapag makakita kayo ng photon doon at may choices na light, light. Kapag photon, may wave-particle duality agad yung sagot. Sige. From light, let's move to waves. So what are the different components that you should know about waves? Ito yon. You should know about these guys. These people here. Si wavelength, si frequency, si period, at si amplitude. Kapag di mo malalaman to, I'm sure i-skip nyo po ito. Wavelength. Ano si wavelength? The distance between two crests. Distance between two crests. So, yung two crests dyan is, if we visualize it, yung horizontal distance sa wave. Frequency naman is the number of crests, okay, through a given time. 1 over S. Okay? 1 over S or hertz. Period. The time. Yung period of a wave is the time it takes for one complete back and forth vibration. Pag period, we are talking more about oscillations. Last, we have amplitude. Amplitude is the maximum displacement. Okay? So, ito yon. Simple. We have wavelength here, distance, di ba? From one trough to trough, crest to crest. Okay, wavelength. Amplitude from the middle portion up to the highest portion or the maximum portion. At ano pa yun? Wave speed is equal to the product of the wavelength times ni frequency. Okay? Ito lang. Basic formula. Wave speed po. Always po yan kapag basic problem solving about waves. Ito po yung kadalasan na ina-ask na question about wave speed. What wave speed? Pag wave speed formula, wavelength times amplitude. Okay? Equal to the product of the wavelength times, frequency pala, sorry. Wavelength times the frequency. Okay? Wavelength times the frequency. At hindi lang po si wave, guys. You should know this formula too, ni light. Okay? Speed of light is equivalent to the frequency and the wavelength. Diba? Same lang kay waves kanina. Same lang po siya. Okay? Sige. So, speed of light, siyempre, meron siyang constant speed. Ito yung speed niya. Hindi po ito given, ha? Dapat alam nyo to. Never have I observed questions na given si 3 times 10 to the 8. Wala talaga. Need nyo po talagang i-memorize yan. Again, yung C dito, speed of light, 3 times 10 to the 8 meters. Sa vacuum. Please remember that. Okay. Sige nga, try natin to. Ito yung one of the questions. One of the 7 questions na nakita ko about speed of light. Okay? Speed of light in a crown glass is 2 times 10 to the 8. 10 to the 8. The index of refraction of crown glass is, so, anong formula ni index of refraction? Simple lang. C over V. Okay? C over V. So, kapag hindi mo alam ang speed of light na constant na si C, hindi mo talaga masosolve ito. Pag alam mo, ito lang yun. 3 over 2. 3 over 2, that is equivalent to 1.5. Diba? So, you need to know the speed of light so that you can come up or you can have the answer po doon sa index of refraction. And ito yung mga refractive indexes. And usually, si glass po yung famously placed dito sa mga type of questions na ito. Okay, let's move. So, from light, let's go to sound. What are the characteristics of sounds? So, we have three. We have loudness, we have pitch, and we have quality. Again, loudness, pitch, and quality. Kapag loudness, saan yan associated? Doon sa amplitude. Okay? Pag loudness, amplitude po yan. Kapag pitch, frequency. Kapag pitch, frequency. Kapag quality naman, it talks more about waveform. Pag quality, it talks more about waveform. So, yan lang yun. You need to know that one. Sound waves, what are its properties? Ito yung mga properties niyan. We have echo, reverberation, we have beats, and we have resonance. We have echo, reverberation, beats, and resonance. So, ano ito, mga sir? Ano ito, sir? Okay, echo. The echo, reflected sound. Siyempre, reflected. Reverberation, it is just the repetition of echoes. Diba? If you are a singer, you need to reverberate. Diba? Dapat persistent po yung sound ninyo. Kaya ka nagre-reverberate. Practice doon sa vocal cords mo. Kapag beats naman, these are just two waves of the same frequency. Again, pag beats, two waves of the same frequency. Last, we have resonance. Kapag resonance naman is the one na nag-occur kapag yung frequency between two objects are the same. Okay? Kapag frequency of two objects are the same. Kapag beats, nagko-combine yung frequency niya. Okay? So, ito yung lahat. Properties of the wave, echo, reverberation, beats, resonance. Okay. This one. Ito. During the thunderstorm, 4.4 seconds yung nag-elapse na time. Approximately how far in kilometers and miles was the lightning flash? So, since nag-discuss tayo about speed of light, we should know also the speed of sound. Kapag speed of sound, guys, please memorize 344 meters per second. Again, speed of sound, 344 meters per second. Kapag speed of light, it says a speed of light 3.0 times 10 to the 8. So how do we do this? Let's find the distance. 350 or 344 times 4 seconds. And you will get letter A, 1.4 km or 0.9 miles. Okay, di ba? Basic lang po talaga yung problem solving ni physics. I tell you, just manipulation of the formula itself. Nothing more, nothing less. Kung may makikita kayo ng mga advanced questions sa physics, hindi yun lalabas, guys. Basic lang po talaga lahat. Especially ngayon, yung 19 items lang po yung physics ninyo. It's very highly unlikely na magbibigay si PRC ng grabe ka-advance. Grabe, one question lang, hindi na lang ibobonus. Diba? Sige. So, from sound, let's move to light. Ito. What are the properties of light? Since light exhibits as a property through what we call electromagnetic wave, and it works like it works in a transverse form. Light properties are transverse electromagnetic waves. Please remember that one. Kapag light, transverse po yung wave niya. And we have here, we have reflection. Again, reflection. Reflection is the bouncing back of light upon hitting a smooth surface. For example, we have mirrors. Okay, we have mirrors. For reflection, we have also what we call two types of reflection. We have regular and we have diffuse. So what is the difference between the two, sir? Si regular,
are just parallel rays. Okay? Are just parallel rays at the same angle. Nakikita nyo, di ba? Same angle lang po lahat. And parallel rays. Unlike the diffuse, parallel lang yung rays niya, pero different yung angle of reflection niya. Kaya nadi-diffuse yung light na nare-reflect doon sa ganitong surface na ito. Okay? So regular versus diffuse. An example of a diffuse reflection is kung nakikita nyo, if a flashlight nyo yung paper. Diba? Kung if a flashlight nyo yung paper, ang mangyayari is hindi siya ma-reflect kasi at a different angle, yung surface niya, iba-iba yung direction niya. Kaya diffuse reflection. Wala pong image na nagtatransmit doon. Okay. From reflection, let's go to refraction. Okay, refraction. Light, ito yung points to remember. Light travel faster in a less dense medium. Yung light daw, bumibilis kapag less dense or yung medium has less density. Please remember that one. Kapag light, bumibilis doon sa lesser medium. Yan si refraction. And kapag refraction, we are using the Snell's law. Another formula for you to memorize. Okay? Snell's law. Just n sine theta equals to n2 sine theta. Because we are dealing about refraction on two different sets of medium. Ito po yung si Snell's law. Si Snell's law is a formula on which it gives the relationship between the angle of incidence, ito, angle of incidence versus the refractive index or the angle of refraction. Ito. Relationship between this one and this one. Kasi magkaiba po yung medium. Magkaiba yung medium. Okay, next. So from reflection to refraction, we have dispersion. Kapag dispersion, guys, just visualize a prism. Kapag dispersion, rainbow. Dispersion, prism, dispersion, rainbow. Okay? Okay, next. Diffraction. Diffraction. Diffraction is just the bending of light around obstacles in its path. So yung nakikita dito, if we imagine this one is just looks like this. Yung cloud na nagdi-diffract ng light. Kasi ang bending of light niya is meron siyang mga barriers on which na pinuputol niya yung direction of light on that certain object. Okay? Ito yung diffraction. So, bali, kapag again dispersion, prism, rainbow. Kapag diffraction, cloud. Cloud dispersal. Cloud light dispersal. Okay. So, reflection, refraction, diffraction, ano pa? Interference. Interference. Meron tayong tinatawag na interference. So, itong interference na to is just two body waves. Okay? Two body waves na it happened na nag-combine. And in some cases, dalawa yung output niya. It may either be constructive or destructive. Kapag constructive, nag-join yung dalawa. Kapag destructive, it will cancel one another. Again, constructive, it will join. Destructive, it will cancel. Okay? Yan yung concept doon sa interference. Ano pa? So interference, we have reflection, refraction. We have also what we call polarization. Polarization, just the process in which transverse waves nag-vibrate siya doon sa direction perpendicular to that propagation wave, doon sa polarized light wave. Okay? So polarization, ito yon. So if we compare, ang nangyayari dito sa polarized is just yung vibrations niya, it occurs on a single phase. Isa lang yung ways and means niya. Kapag unpolarized, it is vibrating in more than one plane. Again, pag polarized, one plane or single plane. Pag unpolarized, many planes, more than one plane. Okay, ano pang properties of light? Meron pa ba? Last na ata ito si polarization. Si polarization, meron siyang different processes pala. So it may either be transmitted, refracted, scattered, or reflected. Diba? Same definition, same descriptions doon sa diniscuss natin kanina. And polarization by transmission, associated po siya kay Polaroid filter. Kapag refraction naman, refracted beam. Kapag scattering, all about glares. Scattering, all about glares. Reflection naman is same as the basic definition of reflection. Okay? So, paano natin to i-apply itong mga properties of light? Paano? Dito tayo sa optics. So, plane mirrors. Kapag plane mirror, anong image na ma-form dito? Always siya virtual. Please remember, plane mirror, always virtual. Okay? At kapag virtual, same size of the object. Kapag virtual, same size of the object. Yan yung specification ni plane mirror. How about spherical mirror? Meron tayong curved mirrors. Pwede siya maging concave, pwede siya maging convex. Kapag concave, from the word cave, nag-cave in yung mirror. Meaning to say, nag-curve inside. At kapag nag-curve inside, nag-converge. Again, concave mirrors are converging mirrors. Kasi nag-curve siya inwards. Unlike ni convex, it diverges because it curves outwards. Okay? So, what are the parts of a spherical mirror? Ito yon. These are the parts. Kapag ganito, makakita kayo ng ganito, always natin ma-remember yung magnification equation plus yung mirror equation. And this involves basic solving. And trust me guys, feel ko lang ha, may isang question lalabas that talks about these problem solving types na ganito. Okay? So ito yung parts. Yung principal axis, center of curvature, vertex, focus, radius, and focal length. For me, you don't need to know this one. Just know the positioning. Ito yun. Please have a summary here. Kung pwede pa lang, ilagay nyo to sa dingding. So ito yung mga different position of images with different objects na iniilatag mo doon sa mirror na ginagamitan mo. Kapag concave mirror, between P and F, yung image position niya is behind. Nature virtual, size larger. Okay? I don't need to explain this ha. So you just need to familiarize kung anong mangyayari. Familiarize and virtualize po. So ito yon, mga positioning images, yung nature niya at saka sizes. Yung mahirap lang dito is all about concave. Kasi kapag si convex, always po siya virtual and smaller. Yan lang yung best thing ni convex mirror. Pag concave talaga, mahihirapan talaga kayo. Okay? Sige. So ito yon. Ito yung mga images na nagfo-form or being generated by concave mirror. So ito yung lahat-lahat. Just remember again, pag convex, upright po siya and reduced. Upright, reduced, virtual, and behind. Always po yan. Pag convex, upright, reduced, virtual, and behind. And with that, dito na tayo sa mirror equation. Please remember this formula again. Ito ata yung pinakalas na formula na need nyo i-memorize. So, mirror equation. 1 over focal length is equivalent to 1 over the initial distance over the final distance. Plus final distance. Magnification equation, the height, the image height, over the object height. And ang confusing lang po dito is meron siyang mga sign conventions. Ito yung mga sign conventions dito. Kapag F+, kapag makakuha ka ng mirror equation, yung focal length na positive, kapag positive guys, convex lens po iyan. Okay? Kapag negative yung F, para po siya kay concave lens. Sa lenses. How about kung mirror, sir? Kapag positive yung focal length, concave mirror po siya. Kapag negative yung focal length, convex mirror po siya. Let's talk about image. If ever you can have the DI that is positive, image should be real. Kapag yung DI niya is negative, virtual po yung image. At kapag height naman, kapag image height, positive, virtual, and upright. And kapag yung HI is negative, real, and inverted. Ito yun. You need, I suggest you guys, you need to practice this type of questions na involves sign conventions. Example for that is this one. Ito yung mga, some examples that you need to practice. Practice until na maboboard kayo. So let's try to solve this one. So, a spherical concave, again concave, we are talking about concave mirrors. Meron siyang radius of curvature of 30. Meron siyang magnification of a man's face when it is 12 cm from the vertex of the mirror. So what do we use here? We use this equation, yung magnification, yung lens equation at yung magnification. Okay? So we have R equals to 30, DO equals to 12, and focal length is positive. Bakit positive, sir? Diba? Kasi R is yung F niya or focal length is just R over 2. So 30 over 2. And kaya siya positive dahil concave mirror po siya. Again, bakit positive yung F? Concave mirror po siya. So inputting everything, so we need to find DI. So we have negative 60 cm. Diba? Pero yung hinahanap natin po dito is magnification. So formula for magnification, kuha natin yung DI divided by DO. Ang answer dito is negative 60 over negative 12, which is letter C, 5. Okay? So just recall this one. Just try to solve this after sa discussion na ito. Ulit-ulitin nyo po ito. Ulit-ulitin ninyo. I have another question here. Okay? So same case, same method, input, output. Input nyo yung R, DO, yung sign convention, then input everything to find DI, you will get 35 cm. Pero dalawang 35 po ito, sir. Paano ba? Paano malalaman kung to the left ba siya or to the right? Diba? Since meron tayong sign convention na kapag yung DI is positive, it will go to the same direction. So, since this is to the right, this should be to the right as well. So, letter B po yung sagot dito. Diba? This is for concave only. How about, sir, kung convex na po? Diba? Same case pa rin. Kapag convex, input-output tayo. Same method, same process. To find DI, we have this one. So, we have to calculate. Diretso-diretso na po tayo, ha? So, to calculate, we have negative 3.75 centimeter. Sir, bakit walang negative sa choices? Diba? Ano nga yung sign convention kapag yung DI is negative? It will go to the opposite direction. And since this is to the left, and since this is negative, the answer should be to the right. So the answer here is letter B, 3.75. Okay? So ulit-ulitin nyo po yung mga ways and means to solve these types of problems. Ulit-ulitin nyo po ito. Until such that you will become bored. Okay? That will really help you guys. If and only if there will be a question na lalabas na ganyan. Okay? So, mirrors. Let's go to lenses. So, again, lenses, convex, we have concave. Yung application lang po dito sa convex lens at si concave lens is application doon sa eyes. Kasi, pag nearsighted ka, yung lens mo should be concave. Okay? Kapag farsighted ka, yung lens mo po is convex. Again, kapag nearsighted ka or you have myopia, concave yung ginagamit mo po. Kapag meron kang hyperopia at meron kang farsightedness, convex lens yung gagamitin mo. Okay? So, yan yung association niyan. So, kapag also, if ever you have astigmatism, you will be using both types of lenses. Again, kapag astigmatism, yung solution dyan is to use concave lens and convex lenses. Okay? So, tapos na tayo kay waves and optics. Last topic. Okay? Last topic. Malapit na mag-end, guys. So, concept lang po ito. So, Planck's quantum theory. Kapag Planck's quantum theory, we are talking about quanta. Quanta are the discrete amounts of energy. It is the idea of light. And kapag quanta, kapag physics, we are talking more about quantum mechanics. Okay? Quantum mechanics. And if you will remember Max Planck, please remember it's black body radiation. Kapag Max Planck, black body radiation. Kapag Niels Bohr, line spectra. Kapag Niels Bohr, line spectra. Okay? Again, kapag makakita kayo about kay Max Planck, black body, Niels Bohr, line spectra. Ano pa? So, Planck's quantum theory talks about ang electron's way to emit energy. Okay? So, yung energy niya would be reduced from a higher definite energy level to another lower definite energy level. Siyempre, magdi-decrease talaga yung energy level niya as it passes through different phases or different levels. Okay? Kapag baliktad naman, conversely, kapag nag-absorb siya ng energy, syempre, nag-raise up siya ng energy level. And we have two types of spectra. We have emission and we have absorption. Okay? Kapag emission spectra, hot gases, and absorption spectra, cold gases. Yan lang yon. At kapag makakita kayo about Louis de Broglie, we are talking about wave-particle duality. Okay? Kapag Louis de Broglie, wave-particle duality. Diba? Wave and particles. Yeah, ano pa? Okay, Einstein's theory of relativity. So, yung theory of relativity ni Einstein, concerned lang po siya doon sa differences between the observations of two observers. Okay? Differences lang siya. Kino-contrast lang niya yung nakikita ng person A compared kay person B. Bakit niya kino-compare o bakit niya kino-contrast? Kasi we don't know or we are lacking universal frame of reference. Kaya si theory of relativity, yan yung dinidil po niya. And please remember, there is no absolute motion, but only relative motion. By the name relative, it should be related, comparative to one another. So meron siyang kino-compare. Again, pag theory of relativity, wala pong absolute motion, meron lang relative motion. Sige, next. So, special theory of relativity. Ito lang yung mga concepts na need nyo i-familiarize. Kapag special theory, we are talking about inertial or non-accelerating reference frames. Okay? We are talking about inertia. Okay, inertia. And also, it is concerned with the comparison of measurements from those inertial frames. And lastly, special theory of relativity concerned about experiments near the speed of light. Okay, ito lang yon. Okay, ano pa? Special theory of relativity, we have two principles. We have principle of relativity and principle of constancy of speed of light. The principle of relativity is just like this. All of the laws of physics are basically the same in all inertial frames of reference. Lahat-lahat po ng laws of physics, pareho po lahat in terms of relativity. Speed of light. Speed of light in vacuum is the same in all inertial frames. So, bali, ang notion po dito is that there are two objects that are being compared, but they are always in the same frame of reference. And this special theory of relativity, meron siyang mga consequences. Okay? One consequence is time dilation. Second is we have length contraction. Third is simultaneity. Fourth is revision of laws. Ito yung mga consequences niya na hindi pa nasosolve o hindi pa na-observe. Yan kay special theory of relativity. General theory of relativity naman is just an offshoot or an extended version of the special theory of relativity. Kasi i-consider na po niya yung accelerating reference frames, di ba? Yung special theory of relativity talks about static reference frames, inertial reference frames. Si general theory of relativity talks about accelerating motions. Okay? And it has something to do with gravitation. May kaakibat na po siya na gravity. Bakit gravity? Kasi it accelerates moving objects. And merong principles din si general theory of relativity. Same case, same principle of relativity and principle of equivalence. Okay. Principle of equivalence, in the vicinity of any point, merong gravitational field. So, yung aspect ni special theory is that it talks more about the frame of reference of the processes that is involved. Pero si general theory naman, nag-involve na siya kay gravitational field. Kay gravity po talaga siya. On prior consequences, we have time dilation, bending of light, and gravitational redshift. Ito na yung sa Big Bang. Diba? Big Bang theory. So, to compare classical versus modern, ito lang yon. Kapag classical, it talks more about topics about optics, mechanics, and acoustics. Si modern naman, talks more about quanta, nuclear, and atomic. And if we discern it further, ito yon. Pag classical physics, nagre-refer siya ng traditional forces. It talks more about Newton and Maxwell. At si modern naman, it talks more about the modern, di ba? Modern physics, modern concept of physics. It talks more about Max Planck and Einstein. And explains more on a micro level. Si classical physics, macro on a wider level. Modern physics, inside level. And these are some differences between classical physics and quantum physics. So just read this na lang. No need to explain kasi basic description na po siya, basic definition lang. Okay? Classical versus quantum or modern physics. Okay? So that ends the full discussion of all the topics that is involved in the new enhanced TOS. So lahat na po iyon. So hopefully, you have learned something about it. So if ever you are studying with questions, please see to it that every question that you are answering should reflect the enhanced TOS learning competencies. Okay? So that ends our discussion today. So thank you for listening, guys. At least I have 7 viewers. Hindi naman ano. So, yun lang. Yan lang yung sa physics. So, just review the video if ever you want to understand more about the concept. Kasi you need to know Jude talaga si concept. Okay? So, I think that's all. So, good evening again, everybody, and good
Thank you,
night.
sir.
Thank you so
Good
much for
night.
listening. Bye-bye.
Good night po, sir.